Good evening, all to viewers. A warm welcome to all the viewers of GETI over here, a Global Education Training Institute initiative by Dr. Sunita Gandhi, ma'am. Today with us, we have our eminent speaker, Dr. AnandaPrabhu, sir. Warm welcome, sir. Sir is chairman in Indian Educational and Cultural Academy, Hyderabad, Telangana. And today, sir is going to share his views and ideas about education for transformation. On behalf of GETI Global Education Training Institute and on behalf of Sunita Gandhi ma'am, I your host Hina welcome you today sir. We really love to know about your ideas and view about education transformation. Sir, please share your great ideas with us. Thank you sir.
Respected Sunita Gandhi Madam and the fine team who have been doing a great job uh, in educating the masses and as well as awakening the teachers to know the reality. Let me start with a small prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The life has been traveling from the mineral state to the present human being. It has traveled from insects, the minerals, the insects, the reptiles, the birds, the animals, and the man. The man's life is so beautiful and wonderful. If we just go back and scan our life, we came alone into this world. We go alone out of this world, but we cannot live alone in this world. We need association of men, material, and the nature. And how to go about it is only the education that makes us unfold the hidden treasure in our own selves. What actually is education? Education is not just going to the school, reading books, writing down, calculating, getting marks, and so on and so forth. Education is a very powerful tool to make animal man into man man and man man to a godly man. This is a wonderful stage of the life to travel from the lowest level to the highest level. Any nation can build or manufacture the citizens as it desires based on the understanding that the every individual who is born on this land has come with certain potentialities. He has not come without a purpose, he has come with a purpose. Therefore, if the meaning of education is understood thoroughly and properly, this child who is entered into the mother's womb starts his education there. And the education which started in the mother's womb travels and travels and ends in the tomb. So, therefore, just as the seed germinates in the soil, the education makes the individual also to germinate his mind, his intellect, and try to understand the purpose of his life on this globe. Living needs a perfect education. Perfect education is the manifestation identifying his own skills. No individual is born an idiot or rascal or corrupted. They are made by the society. A man traveling in one direction and expecting to reach another direction, or is traveling in a wrong direction and tries to reach the destiny, it's not possible unless until he follows the system of education. Education is such a wonderful aspect. The purpose of education is to realize your own self, not to become doctors, engineers, astronauts, and so on and so forth. Education directs the man towards the perfection based on certain norm. The relation between the child and the father depends upon the education. An undue freedom and undue guidance will lead the child into a chaos. Therefore, the mother and the father have given birth to the child and provides an environment. They give their love and respect with which the child learns to be obedient to mother and father. All required life skills are given by mother without a textbook, without any examination, without any supervision. The child learns all the required skills with the guidance of the mother. And mother also doesn't expect any other appreciation, increment, and that she does it just by the love and concern which is hidden in the concept of mother. That is, the sacrifice, the tolerance, and the desire that the child should lift himself to a greater height. All the basic needs of living, that is, brushing, washing, bathing, walking, jumping, all these things are done under the supervision of an excellent teacher, that is a mother. The sacrifice, the tolerance, and the concern, and the love and the smile is given by the father. It changes the crying child to a smiling child. And this child, after attaining the age of 4 or 5, is sent to an atmosphere under the supervision of a teacher to prune all unwanted behavior in the child. A huge banyan tree is hidden in a small seed, but it is not seen. Similarly, a great personality is hidden in a small child who is going to be a greatest human resource and wealth of any nation. Therefore, a very careful study is to be made upon what talents are hidden in the particular child. A tamarind seed cannot give a mango plant. Similarly, a child with certain skills and values and quality cannot become something else. Therefore, it is very much needed that life is for education and education throughout the life. At every place, it has to be identified that this child, who is a raw human personality, biological personality, has to unpack the hidden talents within him. And biological changes will definitely take all the uh, organs of knowledge and organs of action, and the body system grows. The time makes him to grow physically, but the education alone makes his mind prune the unwanted behavior and inject the refined behavior. When the child reaches to certain age of a youth, he should understand that I have certain values in my life: the social values, the family values, the cultural values, the obedience, the respect, and try to know who am I. I am the self. All knowledge, material information he gains through the book and to the exposure in the world and the guidance of the teacher make him understand his own wealth that is there within him. Otherwise, the world outside will definitely deviate his action. The child is tempted with a lot of materialistic attractions, disturbances, emotions, and so on. But the values that are injected in the house, the values injected by the teacher also has to be thoroughly unfolded by himself, an omniscient and all-knowing personality. When the teacher can convince the child that you are nothing but an embodiment of love, obedience, sacrifice, tolerance, patience, devotion, love for the country, he becomes the very confident youth to multiply those rich qualities. A sculptor sees a statue in a rock and he takes his tools, sketches it, and a beautiful statue comes out of it. And that is possible only when the unwanted stone is removed. By default, every individual in the beginning will be notorious, stubborn, disobedient, destructive, and so on and so forth. But here, when the teacher provides an environment where he imbibes these great values in him, the concern for the humanity, concern for his own self development, how to understand this self development. It is said that the two things, the learning and teaching, go step by step. And this learning lifts the individual to step up into a higher level, not only gathering the information, but identifying the great treasure that is hidden in him, which would be a cause for the development of society, development of the self first, development of the family, development of society, nation, and humanity at large. So, right from the inception, all individuals are one. Religion is also a society. The caste and other things which are created for a different purposes, but individual is a born divine personality. This born divine personality is becoming restless, overambitious, unreasonable desires, stress, strain, depression, dejection, and uninterested in learning because the learning direction has changed. In the beginning, this learning is to develop the right conduct, humanitarian conduct, fulfill social organization, and self realization. This is the Dharma of Education on duty. Individual has to develop his conduct, the good behavior. The personality has to be pruned. He should understand what is right and what is wrong. This is one of the very important value that the teacher has to inject in him. And he, having traveled millions of species and came to the human body, and he has to unfold his human personality. The human personality learns from the mother the love, the pure respect, the concern for the family members, service, sacrifice, tolerance, adjustability, and praise for good. If these values are injected, the education transforms the animal man into a humanitarian personality in the society. And every child should also learn to do his activities by himself. A child who has come to the primary school, definitely he brushes his own teeth, he takes bath, he combs his hair. Similarly, there are certain social responsibilities also, which he learns from his father, mother, the family members, and then the elderly people outside. It is not just respecting his mother, father, but the child has to learn the value of respecting every adult, because the education was the concern of not only the school teacher and the parents, but every man has a responsibility to mold the behavior of the child. This education makes him develop the fulfilling of social obligations. What are his social obligations? He is born alone, but to come up to that particular age, he has received the services of hundreds and thousands of people. He has to repay all that. And to repay all that, he has to understand the value of working for everyone. When the river runs down from the top, it spreads its canals to the villages, to the irrigation, to the cultivation, and for many other things before it merges into the ocean. Similarly, every individual also has a social obligation which he has to repay without any expectation. The corruption will go miles and miles away because he feels that he is a part of the society. When he is working, he is free from other temptations, other forces. Then, when he closes his eyes and tries to meditate, from where I have come, my mother gave me birth, my father gave me consent, my teacher has been pruning my behavior, and I have been experiencing this great glory. So, he definitely tries to go into his own self. And that self is the greatest library or treasure which makes him to unlock the hidden treasure for the purpose that he has come. Once he travels to that realization of self, he understands that he is a very potential, dynamic, and ultimate uh, power which is there in him is useful to the society. So, this education is for realization of self. We have two types of education, a lifelong process. One is activate for the food and maintain of physical body. We need to live in this world. So we do some graduation, post graduation, engineering, and so on so courses, and get some job, and that's a very small part of it for which we are not born. And there is another education is to develop the cultural personality, the human personality, the ethical personality, the spiritual personality. This is what is called as a lifelong process from the birth till the death. The time is a belt or the path on which he is walking, and this time provides all the facilities for him to unfold his true personality. At the age of 5, he has been gifted with certain skills and energies. At 10, at 15, at 20, at 30, so many things are being given by the age, by the time. And at every age, Those skills help us to go inside and realize his own self, and also coat it with the different flavors of culture, spiritual, ethical, moral, social, national, and human values. Therefore, in ancient Indian system, it is told as avidya and vidya. Avidya doesn't mean not learning, and avidya is only at a lower education, lower services. These lower services will help us only to live in the world, but peace, harmony, happiness, joy, satisfaction will be developed only when a person tries to retreat, go inside and see, which is called as a vidya, learning for the self realization. The material world has only limitation, but the world, the vidya lifts you to identify yourself that you are not a just physical body, the mind, the intellect, but you are the supreme self, which is residing in all the selves in the world, the Paramatman. Therefore, the most important is we need to travel from a lower level to higher level is the transformation. The physical transformation, that is the baby, kid, and the child, and the youth, and the senior citizen, and so on. It goes on. But the inner personality, it says that you need to travel from a gross body to the subtle body and to the causal body. It is to lift yourself from this lower level of your sheath, which is called the food sheath. The Patanjali has given the beautiful eightfold path: Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi, which is the a direction for transformation into a supreme self. You are everything what you are thinking outside, inside. But identify that well. See the transformation. The milk has a different density in volume and the rate, but if it is boiled, that is through process change, the milk has become the curd. Its density, its volume, its price is different. But when it goes in the association of the enlightened teacher, that when it is churned, it becomes the butter. Butter is still subtle, and still its density, its volume, its shape is transformed. And if this butter is heated with the challenges of life, with the enlightened masters, it becomes a ghee which lives for a long, long period. Therefore, education makes the individual to become an eternal personality or real personality, a true personality. Otherwise, the human wealth is going waste. Millions and millions of people are being given the wrong teaching or irrelevant teaching or guiding the children to become something else with their anxiety. Any amount of wealth which is procured will make the individual restless, dissatisfied, unhealthy competition, greed, and sick. But if he adopts the path of vidya, that is the realizing the self, he becomes a great personality. Even after the leaving this body, he still lives as the great scientists who have contributed to the world are still existing, not physically, but through their education, through their knowledge, and to their contribution. Therefore, The schools, the teachers, the curriculum planners, and the curriculum chiselers should understand this concept very well. Every child is a human wealth who goes to the school not to have a cosmetic education, but to try to learn to understand themselves and their hidden talents. It said education is perfect in every child. All that is required is to identify and promote by providing the good environment. The manifestation of perfection is education. Swami Vivekananda said that perfection is there, but the children are being taken away to a different world. So, an evolutionary process from matter to bliss travels from Annamaya Kosha to Pranamaya Kosha. The breathing exercise will help the child to melt his ignorance, unhealthy desires, unwanted temptations, and lift him to the mental level. The mind is the dictator. The mind is the one which directs the body to do all the actions. But the mind is filled only with the positive thoughts, only with the divine thoughts, only with uncorruptive thoughts. And this mind can be done by learning the music, the dance, the secrets of human values. And this mind lifts to the greater height, which is called as a Vijnana, analysis and going deeper in concepts of knowing the reality. Reality is one, God is same, the Paramatman is same, and he tries to lift himself from this analytic way to the supreme self that is called as a bliss. So our evolution of learning can be shown in this order. That is from Annamaya Kosha to Pranamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha to Manomaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha to Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Vijnanamaya Kosha is Anandamaya Kosha and ultimate bliss. This is the direction of education, which dissolves all the wounds of life. The man tries to become man, and from man to the godly man, and that godly man is for which he has come here. Bodhonya sadhanebhyohi sakshan mokshaika sadhanam. See, the bodhana by the elite teachers, the masters, the realized souls, is very much necessary for every student. And sadhana with the rapport from the student to the teacher. Every student has to respect the teacher as a god, because the feeling itself brings the vibration in the child to make the learning easy. The moment the child sees the teacher, he will easily bridge the vibrations to receive the hidden information or knowledge from the teacher, and he'll be able to learn very well. This bodhana and sadhana has to be continuously practiced throughout the life to reach the perfection. It is given an example. When a food is cooked, the fire burns and the rice pot is put on the fire till the food is cooked. Similarly, till we realize our own self, till we understand the abundant, the entire world's energy, wealth is within us, this sadhana should go away. Sa, dha, na. Sakara rupa, or traveling on dharma education, will take you to the nirakara rupa. So this sadhana starts from the mother's womb. It's not just to make children get some marks and appreciation and then certificates and then the awards or degrees. That is not the purpose of education. The purpose of education is to unlock the hidden talents, hidden treasure, hidden skills, hidden thoughts which are useful to the entire humanity. Because the entire universe is ready to give all the force, all the energy, all the facilities. But the individual has to understand his own self. Therefore, education is alone tool to unlock all the treasures within him. Every child or every man is born on this globe to live happily with smile. He is born, he has been gifted with n number of opportunities to unfold, to realize this self. Whether we use these opportunities, whether we lose these opportunities, whether we misuse these opportunities, or whether we abuse these opportunities depends upon our education. Education is always like a chiseling a pencil toward the perfect tip of a lead. Similarly, education is a very vibrant, very interesting, and very powerful tool to become a man into a godly man, to a great scientist, to great exploration, and great militant personality. This is possible only with the education, and this education should be the concern of mother, father, family members, every adult in the society, and finally with the teacher. Teacher is an embodiment of the total knowledge and information in all dimensions. And becoming that, this individual will be a great contribution to the world, will be a great resource for the human values and human life. This is called as the real spiritual journey, the formal, literal, cultural, social, humane, and spiritual journey is possible only through education, and this education transforms us to realize our own self. I wish that every teacher would turn the page and teach every subject through the self, because self is a beam of light. Every ray is a science. The beam is summum bonum of millions of rays. So every science, every learning will join that beam, and human life will definitely become a godly life. And the purpose of coming onto this earth, the association of the parents, the family members, the teachers, the friends, the relatives will unfold into a golden period of his life journey. And I wish all the students and all the teachers to join me in making this education true, colorful, fragmentful, and purposeful. Good evening.
Thank you so much, sir. It was so calm listening to you. It was as if we were all in a mood of meditation, moving towards the God, listening to your voice, and moving more closer to the gods and His gifts towards of life to us. It was a wonderful journey listening to you, sir. It was so warm and it was so politely, silently, as if I'm doing a kind of a meditation with you. Thank you so much for the great learning today, sir, with you. It was
Thank you, madam.
such a nice sound which I was going through the entire session as if I am in a mood of meditation, going closer to the God, doing self realizations, making understanding of the gifts that the in the world God has given us. So it was so great listening to you today, sir. We hope to listen to you from once more again from you, sir, regarding any more topics which you might be having to share with us. So it was so wonderful. And on behalf of Getty Global Education Training Institute, I thank you, sir, and I say goodbye to you for today. And I wish I would be with you again as a host once again. On behalf of Dr. Sunita Gandhi, ma'am, on behalf of the Getty team, I say Anand Prabhu, sir. Oh, thank you. Oh, very thank you to you, sir. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you can.
Yes, madam.